Hey, my name is Marco. I'm a former opera singer turned voice actor. Today I want to talk about a beautiful song from NieR Automata. What's there to say, except that it's a beautiful song? No, I'm just kidding. It's really something about this piece. This piece is going to be very difficult to talk about removing ourselves from the game, because this was one of the first boss fights in NieR Automata that I distinctly remember. Now it's been figure 5 years or so since I played it. This is one of the first boss fights where I was like, this game is different. What is going on here? It was the first time that we played against an enemy where, despite the fact that it was a robot, there was a sense of humanity and that things were not as black and white as they appeared to be in the opening. Someone correct me if I'm wrong, but I think I'm right. I think the choice of having it be an opera singer in an amusement park and on a stage is a very interesting choice, because I think opera is one of the more primal art forms. Opera encompasses so many different art forms all in one. If you combine all the arts into one thing, that's opera. Opera requires a lot of self-sacrifice. It requires you to pick between relationships versus the career. They pay you to be away from the people you love, essentially. Also in opera, at one point, now it's shifted a bit, but there was a big emphasis on how you looked. Your appearance, being glamorous, being high society, being a person of class, representing an art form. And the emotions that come with that are seeking validation. There's also a lot of scarcity in opera because the jobs are few and far between. There's a sensation of fear, of scarcity, of fighting tooth and nail to achieve your dream. And then once you arrive on the stage, the audience perceives the performance and the lifestyle of an opera singer to be that of glamour. And I bring that up because the final picture that we see of this opera singer looking down on perhaps her manager, perhaps an adoring fan. And when she says, "I want to be beautiful, I want to feel beautiful," if I remember, it's a stark contrast to what the opera singer is doing in the fight. And I think opera singers, we try to pursue beauty and grace and navigate the tightrope of singing incredibly difficult lines and phrases and dealing with rejection and dealing with sacrifice and losing time with the people we love so that we can pursue something higher than ourselves. I really wanted to give an overview about what it's like to be an opera singer. It's a very difficult lifestyle, and feeling beautiful and feeling proud and confident are major, major, major parts of becoming a singer and following through on that goal and achieving something greater than yourself. That's something that I've seen in my former colleagues and in myself. I mean, the amount of distress and fear and worry about performing well. As a tenor, it doesn't really matter how good you sound, because you're always afraid that you're going to miss a note and you're going to splat on your face in front of thousands of people, and there's a lot of fear that comes with it while also trying to feel beautiful. And so I realized after 10 years of pursuing it, I've sung with the New York Phil. I've sung in Santa Barbara. I've sung in Phoenix. My last gig was a 9-week tour in France where I sang Macduff in Verdi's Macbeth. And I remember thinking to myself, I can't live like this, because even though there's glamour, there's a duality there, which I think actually is reflected in this particular fight and scene. We have the duality of the opera singer trying to retain that former sense of glory, which we also see this in older singers when they retire. They want to retain that sense of glory. They want to continue to feel beautiful. It's quite sad, because once you're out of your prime, the career sort of moves on without you. It's like you're in a coal mine and there are trains in front of you and behind you. And if you step off the course, it's very hard to get back on where you were. And usually people can't, and so they sort of step away. But we see this in older singers as well. So anyway, to juxtapose that to the game, there's a parallel between what the audience perceives to be like, a powerful performance where you're confident and strong and you get up on stage and you deliver a stunning winning performance. But then there's all the psychological stuff that happens in the background as a singer that people don't see. I bring this all to your attention because I think beyond the fact that this music is very powerful and intense, and it is a definite shift from any other boss fight really in any game, this is when we start to notice that there's just like there's these intricacies in this music that elevate the boss fights, but then also just the whole game to a whole new height and a whole new level. And I remember listening to this being like, this is a boss? This is the music for the boss? And then when it goes into the 8-bit version too, it's like, oh my gosh, there's so many moving parts of this. It's astounding. But I wanted to sort of lay the foundation for you to understand what the lifestyle and what the mentality of opera singers is, and how this fight is shockingly accurate to the fight inside of a performer. I want to be beautiful. I want to feel beautiful. I want to do good work. And that desire to be those things can also bring us to madness, to not being healthy, and to having serious insecurities and fear, and, fueling mental health issues. So yeah, that's a little bit about that. So let's dive into the music proper and take a listen. And I'm really excited to share this piece with you. So let's go. You hear pain, you hear anguish, you feel a fight that's external, but you also feel a fight internally. And there are demons here that are coming out. It's a fight to be what you used to be. It's a fight to not feel ugly and to not feel worthless and to not feel like you aren't good enough. These are the things I hear. Having explained everything there is to explain about the mental state that an opera singer can be in, and knowing that this is a beautiful song based on an opera singer, that's what I hear. This song, this singing, is the desire to remain relevant and the desire to not feel like your life is worth nothing and to feel like you're pursuing something bigger than yourself. And it's about identity. And it's about, you've got this violent female chorus, and that's so beautiful. The line is so smooth and clean, and you hear this. There's a clear let's leave aside the drums, the timpani, the drums. That's propelling the fight, of course, but and building tension and drama for us and keeping us on the edge of our seat with adrenaline. But there's two different themes here. There's a beautiful melody, a beautiful song, and there's also this ya ya da da ya da da da. Don't let me die a nobody. That's what I sense. Oh, it's just luscious. It's just so good. I think the straight tone can be quite evocative. And straight tone, first of all, this melody is so painful. There's just so much I want to say anguish again, but there's so much suffering here. And I mean, it sounds like an outcry. It sounds like a crying out, a lashing out, a wish for things to be different, which I relate to. When I chose to leave the career, I was so afraid, and I was depressed for about a year. I didn't know what I was going to do. I had no idea what my identity was outside of what I knew, outside of the hamster wheel of being a performer and being a singer. Now, I am a performer, so I'm a voice actor, so I'm still doing performing. And I do sing quite a bit, actually, for brands, which is quite cool. It's not about me, though. The point is, there's so much fear wrapped around leaving behind the business and stepping away and saying, you know what, like I deserve to feel happy. I deserve to feel XYZ, because you get used to the pain of never truly feeling like you're good enough. I just hear immense discomfort in this melody and immense wanting to go back to how things were, wanting to be a star, a diva. I do love these drums. You hear that? She's leaning into that because when we lean in like that, it heightens the stakes and it heightens the emotional squeezing and the tension we feel when we go it's amazing. Love that trumpet back there. That straight tone. It's an outcry. It's an outcry. It's crying out. It's lashing out. This song is a battle within. This song is not about the player versus the boss. This song is about the loss of an identity and a desire to go back to how things were, in my opinion, of course. I mean, it's just such a primal scream in a lot of ways. I mean, it's unbelievable. It's such a powerful piece. I've been really hesitant to do it because I knew it was going to bring up a lot of feelings for me, being that it is based around a singer. And what's crazy about this piece is that even though it's about an opera singer, there actually isn't any opera singing happening. Nicole, Emmy Evans, they're incredible. But it's not opera. And it doesn't need to be. This piece really elicits a profound emotional response and a feeling of something dire. There's a feeling of something. I keep going back to this feeling of not wanting to lose oneself, and that's what I've attached myself to listening to this. And I'm very intrigued to know what you think about this because I have a history with a career, and so I'll never forget when I played this and I said, an opera singer, that's so weird. It's all so dark and twisted and morally ambiguous, and I'll just never forget that final frame of it. It somehow, in a very simple way, they highlight exactly what it feels like to to want to be a performer, to feel beautiful, to feel valid. It's really given me a lot of pause. As an opera singer, I feel like it's my duty to share what I know and also share this amazing music that I love. There's so much that goes into being a performer. We get a glimpse of it in this quite powerfully. And how? With music, with an incredible melody, incredible soloists, and incredible orchestra beneath this, elevating everything to the next level. And not only that, but an incredible boss fight and something that sets the tone for pretty much the rest of the game. Thank you so much, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye. See you later.